Hey guys, I'm here today to talk to you about something else. So give me a second, let me type it in. Good morning. I'm just putting in the topic really quick. Putting in the topic, okay? This live is definitely for people who are contemplating entrepreneurship, who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs, some who have already started and seem to find themselves stuck somewhere in the process and can't quite figure it out, can't work it out. But I'm here as your spiritual entrepreneur engineer, doing my calling and stepping in to assist with that, assisting with even finding out if you're even called to be an entrepreneur, if that's something you're supposed to be doing. And if you are and you're doing it and you know you're supposed to be doing it, but you just can't figure it out, and there's some things you're missing and lacking, I am here to help. That is what my calling is. So I am the entrepreneur engineer, but I work from a spiritual standpoint. No, I don't like being called a Christian. I'm just a student of Jesus Christ permanently. Okay. So, I'm going to send this. I'm going to invite, if you can, whoever's on here right now with me today, if you can share this with people right now really quick before I get started. Maybe share it with people you think may be interested in becoming an entrepreneur, who are entrepreneurs, and you know that they need a little bit of help. They're struggling a little bit. Whatever you may feel, send it out, please. And let's share it with some people so they can get some help with this, okay? And simultaneously, I need to go live on Facebook, so give me a second. Just give me a second really quick. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you guys can see the topic I put up, somebody let me know? Because for some reason on my end, when I put the topic up, it seems as though it disappears and I can't see it on my end. I just want to know, can anyone else see it? Okay, can anyone else see the topic? Please let me know. Please let me know. Oh, okay. Well, did you do that by accident? Sorry. Some people do it by accident. It's okay. Okay. So let's talk about entrepreneurship. Want to talk about a couple of things. Okay. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you trying to be one? What steps are you taking to become an entrepreneur? Okay. What steps are you taking to become an entrepreneur? What have you heard? What are you doing? So, first of all, I'm here to talk about 10 signs. There are 10 definite signs, okay? These signs are so definitive. It's dead on. You'll know. You will know because every person should know their personality. Every person should know about themselves specifically. So if you can identify, I have my notes. A good coach always has their notes. If you can identify 10, okay, I think it's good if you can get five of them, because that still means there's something there as far as entrepreneurship that's in you. So I put together 10 signs that you're destined to be an entrepreneur. If you follow my ministry, Mornings at His Feet Ministry, I'm on every Wednesday at 6 a.m. And right now I'm doing a 5-week series on kingdom entrepreneurship. We are on, yesterday was week 3. But I've been doing Mornings at His Feet since God called me to do it last year, and it's been amazing. This is actually part 5 that I'm on now, because we took a long break. The ministry took a long break because I had some business things I was building up, and God needed my attention. So anyway, if you follow Mornings at His Feet, if you don't, please follow Mornings at His Feet. Okay, I'm on every Wednesday morning, and I'm giving golden nuggets about kingdom entrepreneurship. And I want you to know that this is not just about kingdom people. I want people to know that if you apply kingdom principles and you're trying your best to live a good life, these principles will still be effective in your life. But the reason why I call it kingdom entrepreneurship, because yes, I am a daughter of the King. So let's get you at an understanding. Are you an entrepreneur? So here are 10 signs to let you know. These are definitive signs. There's nothing that you can miss in this. First sign, you embrace change. Let's talk about change a little bit, because we can be complicated people. We get comfortable. We're complacent. We like the way things are. We have made this this cozy place in this whatever situation we're in, and we like it. And we like what's coming out of it. And it's producing just enough to make us happy. But is it producing what God wants it to produce? Okay? So you have to be able to embrace change. If you can't embrace change, that's a hard thing. It's a really hard thing. You got to be able to embrace change. So although most people are uncomfortable when things need to change, an entrepreneur is excited to see the new outcome. For whoever is just joining, I want you to know I'm talking about entrepreneurs today, people who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs, people who already have stepped into it, but seem to be stuck a little bit, don't know. I am giving you 10 definitive signs that you are destined to be an entrepreneur, because it took me a long time to figure it out. I didn't know I was supposed to be one. I was fighting God about it, and I wanted to do something else. I wanted to go work a 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5, but that's what I wanted to do. But there were so many signs pointing to me being an entrepreneur and creating businesses that give other people jobs. So one I just discussed was you embrace change, okay? Most people are uncomfortable with change, but a true entrepreneur is ready. We're ready. We want to know what the new thing is. We want to get to the next thing. We want to know, right? The second definitive sign that you are an entrepreneur is isolation doesn't bother you. Now listen, it can be lonely. It can be lonely. The road of entrepreneurship is lonely. You find that people fall away from you. Family falls away. You find that the people that your friends aren't really friends because they're really haters and they're just there along the ride, making sure that you don't go any farther than they do in life. Okay. So as an entrepreneur, when you step into it, when you really get into it and you start focusing and you're taking the steps and you're planning and you're properly strategizing, you find that it's a lonely walk. And sometimes it has to be like that. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say 99.9% of true entrepreneurship is a lonely walk. It's a lonely walk until you get to the point where God has fulfilled what he needs to put in you, because he is dealing with you throughout the process. And so it's a lonely walk as an entrepreneur to a certain point, and then God allows you to start, having people around you, but you got to hear for that. And I talk about the hearing and the frequency of hearing God on Mornings at His Feet. So you can find yourself alone many moments, many days and nights as an entrepreneur. The life of an entrepreneur requires self-motivation. That's a huge thing. Self-motivation and encouragement. Because when you're by yourself and you're building by yourself, you hit a wall. There's moments you hit a wall. You guys, I hit a wall so bad. Thank God for a good husband. I hit a wall so bad, and I was like, this is not it. I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm frustrated. It's not working. It's not moving. It's not, I was like, throw the whole entrepreneurship away, okay? But you have to be able to know that inside of it, inside of the entrepreneurship, inside of that lonely walk, that isolation, you got to be built up. You have to be built up enough. You have to be disciplined enough to motivate and encourage yourself, because there's never going to be a moment where you don't hit a wall and you're like, there's no way I'm moving forward in this. It's going to come. It's going to happen. And it's going to happen multiple times on multiple levels. So you'll pass a point and you're like, who broke that? And then you get to this next point of what you're supposed to do in your entrepreneurship. And it's like, yeah, it happens. Okay. So you have to be able to self-motivate, and you have to be able to encourage yourself, in which you will see less support. So when you start this journey, I'm just warning you. And if you've already started and you're realizing it, this is a part of it. It's a part of it. You're going to see less support from other people. You're going to see less support from the people around you. And in these moments, if you are a true entrepreneur, you find peace in that. There's a peace you find in that. You become very settled in the fact that this is part of your journey that you have to build and you have to do alone. Okay. So number 3, work smart and hard. Okay. So there's a saying that goes, work smart, not hard. Okay. But a true entrepreneur knows and values smart, hard work. Okay. So we're not aiming to work smart, not hard. We're not aiming to work smart, not hard. A true entrepreneur knows and values that, values working smart and hard. Okay. They know that hard work is necessary, but they find ways to work smart inside of it. Okay. So every entrepreneur finds this moment they come across and they're like, no, you fall in love with you fall in love with what you're supposed to do. You fall in love with the thing that you're driving to become successful in. And a lot of people always say that saying. I never understood. Oh, work smart, not hard. But you know what the Bible said? Hard, smart work has its rewards. And true entrepreneurs know that. True entrepreneurs value smart, hard work. But the work is hard because there's labor in building. Anything that you're building, whether you're laying bricks physically or you're using the strength of your mind, doing market research, talking to people, finding out information, all of these things is hard work. It's laborious. But if you are listening to God in the process of building and becoming an entrepreneur, if you're listening to God in that process, then you'll find that all of this hard work, there's ways God will start dropping little bits to you, like, do it this way. It's still going to be hard work, but it's going to be a little smarter. You get it done this way, you get it done half the time. So it's important to identify that you embrace change, identifying that you isolation doesn't bother you, identifying that you value smart hard work. Okay, because these are the first 3 things that are important to find out whether you're a true entrepreneur. And inside of smart hard work is my dope strategy. I created a dope strategy that helped me build. It took me years, you guys. Then I'm talking about more than 5 years to build this dope strategy, because I had to listen to every specific detail God was giving me when I was doing it. And I fell on the floor like a fool, and I threw temper tantrums, and I got spanked. Okay. And it was hard. It was rough. And I rebelled against it. But then I woke up one day to it. It's like God is trying to show me something. And ever since I woke up and stepped into the full entrepreneurship, I have been able to bless people's lives. People's lives have been changing. And so inside of working smart and hard is my dope strategy: discipline, organize, plan, execute. That is a huge factor in entrepreneurship. And if that's something that helps you, and that's something that you already do in some type of way, you're definitely on to number 4, finding out if you are, if you're definitively called to be an entrepreneur. Number 4, excuse me. I'm sorry, let me end number 3. An entrepreneur is balanced in those areas. An entrepreneur is balanced in discipline, organization, planning, and executing. Okay. Those 3 areas see success. And that truly makes smart, hard work beneficial and rewarding. So number 4, you can dream outside the box. I know you've been around somebody who's like, that sounds a little too much. You're doing a little extra. You're doing too much. You know what I think about that? If you're afraid to do something different with your life, then fly off somewhere. Like, get out of my face, because I have dreams. I see things a certain way. I have a big vision. And that vision, if you're paying attention to everything I'm saying, is always going to be God's vision, because you want to do it the way God said, so that you're truly successful in your entrepreneurship. So true entrepreneurs, you can dream outside the box, okay? You never see things on a small scale. Never. Everybody around you's like, you got high aspirations. Like, you always hear with it. Why so much? Right? Okay. Entrepreneurs have a different set of mental eyes, okay, that allows them to see further into the future. We don't have the same set of eyes most people have. We can see so much further, which is why people say, y'all, you need to take a break. You need to, step back a little bit, take a break. No, we don't, because we see that thing. We see that goal. We see the success. We see the rewards of everything we're doing, and we go for it. We go for it, right? So true entrepreneurs, they dream outside the box. We don't see things on a small scale. We have a different set of mental eyes that allows us to see into the future. Our hopes and our aspirations appear too ambitious to other people. It's outrageous to other people. Your hopes and your ambitions are way too much. Like, start small, scale down a little bit. Okay? You are considered the Caleb of entrepreneurs. And if you know who Caleb is, if you don't know who Caleb is, here's a biblical resource. And I'm actually going to take a step back, because I want you to get the biblical resources of the other ones. The book of Numbers, chapter 13, verse 30. It's going to tell you who Caleb is, okay? Caleb was the one out of the 12 spies. It was actually Caleb and Joshua, but Caleb was the one that made the statement. So the 12 spies were sent out to spy on this land God was giving them. The business God's giving you is like part of your land, okay? So they're sent out. And now you got 10 suckers, okay? 10 punks outside of this group of spies that go to this land, and they're spying, and they see these giants in the land. They're like, there's no way God's giving us this land. There's no way we can defeat this. No way we can defeat this. So the spies come back. 10 spies come back with a bad report. They're all like, oh no, it's too big. They're surely going to crush us. They're going to swallow us. We can never beat them. Joshua and Caleb come back. We can surely do this. Oh, it's doable. We can do this. God said it. It's going to happen. We can do this. So the spirit of Caleb was, as long as God's with me, I can defeat anything. It doesn't matter how big those giants are. It don't matter how many obstacles inside my entrepreneurship journey. I can do this. So if you're number 4, you can dream outside the box. You definitely are considered the Caleb of entrepreneurship. So I just want to take a step back really quick, because 1 through 3, I love what I do. I love what I do. This is exciting. I love doing this. So I wanted to give you the biblical resource of the other ones, because I forgot. So number 1 was you embrace change. The biblical resource for that is Isaiah 43:19. Isaiah 43:19. Number 2 was isolation doesn't bother you. The biblical resource is 2 Timothy 4:16. 2 Timothy 4:16. Number 3 was work smart and hard. The biblical resource for that is Psalm 128:2. Psalm 128:2. Okay. And sorry. Number 4 was you can dream outside the box. And again, that biblical reference is Numbers 13:30. Numbers 13:30. Okay. Number 5. This is one that means a lot to me. All of them mean so much, but this is one that really means a lot to me, because I noticed this about myself, but it had to take some time for me to notice it. And I was like, why I get so mad about it by myself? Number 5, failure pushes you. Some people, excuse me today, because I moved to North Carolina, and the pollen down here is trying to kill me. And so I'm having all of this happening with my sinuses. I sound groggy and rough and all that. But anyway. Number 5, failure pushes you. So you ever met someone who's trying to do something, and they're so excited about this thing, right? They're doing their entrepreneur thing, right? And stuff starts happening. And so something didn't work out. And you're like, man, come on, all you gotta do is figure out another way. It's another way you can do this. Let's regroup and find another way to do this. But that person doesn't fall under the category you fall under, because their go-to is to quit. It's like, it's not working. I'm about to just stop. That's a no. Like, true entrepreneurs are, man, they are excited because it's like, okay, that didn't work. I'm gonna sit down, take my time. I'm gonna plan this. When I say I'm always referring to the unity of you and God, because in everything I do, God has to be the center of it. I'm going to share that, and I'm going to tell you why. But you're not the kind of person that when you fail at something that you quit and completely. You are motivated by your failure. True entrepreneurs are motivated by the failure to go a new direction inside of the entrepreneurship, because maybe that path wasn't it, but I'm still doing this entrepreneur thing, but maybe that was the wrong road. I made a left turn on that street. I should have made a right turn and go down another road and see if that is the pathway, right? So you don't fail and quit. You fail and move forward. You're looking for a way to move forward in the next direction. So failure, but listen, failure is inevitable as an entrepreneur. It's going to happen. So register that, and then, be prepared, because it's inevitable. True entrepreneurs feed off of their failure. It's like they say, don't feed that beast. Somebody that acts a fool, and it's like, mom and dad keep enabling them. They feed that beast. That beast getting, big. That's what you do here. True entrepreneurs, we feed off of failure because our minds are constantly working. Because we see outside the box, we dream big. We're like, what? Quitting is not the way to go. We're looking for the next way. So we feed off of it, and it drives and pushes us further. And you see people around you like, girl, I would have quit that. Boy, I would have quit that so long ago. Nothing was working. Okay, but you can hear no 1,287 times. But on the 88th time, boom, that thing, you get a yes. So that thing works. So you have to work. That's part of working hard, is to keep going even through failure, right? So we're driven. It takes us further. And while we have learned from loss, it gives us more significant advantage for success. Let me explain what I mean by getting a more significant advantage for success. When a person fails at something over and over and over again, they don't have the spirit of fighting. They quit. So they don't get to see whether they were going to be successful in it or not. They don't get to see how much further they can go in it. They don't push any further. So they don't get to see it. But people who fail, who have a fight spirit, and keep going, when we fail, the reason why we have a more significant advantage for success is because we've learned different things that altered the way that we did the next thing. And then it formulates this grand thing that actually is the winner, is the ticket. So we take away from bits and pieces from each way we try to do something and we fail. We look at what it was that caused us to fail, we throw that away, but we take the good part that was there out of it. We add it into the other parts that we failed, push those away. Then we formulate this successful formulation, and then boom, you have it. So we have a greater advantage for success because we don't quit. We don't have a flight attitude. We don't quit. We keep moving forward. And so that brings us even closer to experiencing success. And sorry about the noise too, because I don't know what my neighbors are doing next door today. They're loud and they're normally quiet. Okay. Biblical resource for number 5, failure pushes you, is James 1:2-4. James 1:2-4. Okay. So, okay, now on to number 6. So. It's unacceptable to us. We don't do so. I don't know one entrepreneur who is a so person. So I'm good. I'm good where I'm at. I'm happy with what I'm doing right now. It's because it's always room for growth. It's always room to continue to learn. It's always room to expand, and get more under your feet, get more under your belt. It's always more ground to cover. And so for true entrepreneurs, so ain't enough for us. Like, this isn't it. Mediocrity is highly detested in true entrepreneurship. I know some serious entrepreneurs, and I'm telling you, we all relate the same. Mediocrity is like vomiting, like mediocrity. We don't do mediocrity. And mediocrity is detestable to us. We detest mediocrity. True entrepreneurs do. Okay. Entrepreneurs are seeking of what can take them to the next level. So we're not so people. We're not the people that are like, oh, so it's okay. I'm good. I'm good where I am. I feel like I am doing pretty good. Like I just said a minute ago, it's always room for growth. It's always room for expansion. It's always room for more you can cover. It's always more ground to cover, right? So mediocrity is like, we vomit that. Like, what the heck? We don't want mediocrity. We push for the next thing. We always want the next thing. And I'm gonna tell you this. Somebody used to tell me, "You greedy. Why you can't be happy with what you got?" Let me tell you something. I'm not happy with what I have, in the sense that it's not what God wants. So I'm happy where I am in the sense that I've made it to this point, but I know this is not my finish line. So I'm ready to go to the next thing. So while you can appreciate where you are, the level you currently are in, you always are ready for the next level. No true entrepreneur is okay staying at level one, because level one brings you small provision. We want the promises of God. We want the blessings of God. So we want to go to the level that's sitting on, where we sit and we shower by all this milk and honey, right? So true entrepreneurship doesn't like mediocrity. We detest it. We're always looking for the next level. And consistency is the defeater of complacency with entrepreneurship, okay? We are consistent people because we're driven to this thing that we love to do. So nothing slows us down. And me, I can work sick, y'all, and I be like, nah, I got grind. I got stuff to do. Consistency, everything we do, and that's part of being disciplined, organized, planning, and executing, is that we're disciplined in what we get up and do daily. We organize every single aspect of what we're doing. When we organize it, we plan the way that we're going to execute it, and then we execute it. Consistency is what we breed. We breathe it and we breathe it. It's a part of entrepreneurship, but it's a part of your personality. So far, 1 through 6, have you identified yourself as an entrepreneur? Do you think you're definitively called as an entrepreneur? It defeats complacency. People get comfortable. Like I just said, I'm good where I'm at. Okay, you're complacent where you are, which means you are now defeated against yourself. Yourself has defeated you inside of this thing that you're doing, and you'll never go any further. And that this is why, going back to number 5, you'll never have a significant advantage for success, because you're complacent or you quit. So we despise all of number 6. So it's just unacceptable to us. We're not with all that. We want to go to the next thing. So the biblical reference for number 6, so is unacceptable, is Philippians 4:13. Philippians 4:13 is the reference for that. Okay. Well, after number 7, we almost done. The 10 signs that you're an entrepreneur, and then I'm going to go over some important information, some important factors that entrepreneurs should take note of. So number 7, critical thinker. You're a critical thinker and a problem solver. You're a critical thinker and a problem solver. Okay. True entrepreneurs are people in the world who see the problem, go off in a passionate pursuit, because we're passionate about what we do. I'm passionate about this. I love this. Okay. We go off in a passionate pursuit to find a solution. And you're like, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to figure this thing out. Like, that's my attitude. I'm always like this. I'm like, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to figure this thing out. Like, I'm in college. I'm in school right now, right? I'm working on my bachelor's. And I just had a class. My business law class nearly kicked my butt. But I'm in this business law class, and I'm just like, every day I'm like, Lord, ain't no way. There's no way that I have been a Dean's List student semester after semester after semester since I started school, right? That I'm going to let this one class take me down. And I just was like, nah, I gotta figure this thing out. I gotta figure this thing out because I'm passionate about my degree. Not because I'm one of those people who are like, oh, I have a degree. I'm one of those people who know that in this world, there are a certain group of people who have to have a little more to even be recognized. And I need to be able to have something that I can step my foot in the door with and really show who I am. So I'm going to utilize that business degree. But anyway, but that's an entrepreneur. That's the spirit of an entrepreneur. We see a problem in the world. We go off in a passionate pursuit to find the solution. We're going to find the solution, okay? They always think and often make statements that they work with their eyes closed, okay? Okay, so listen, my coach, she's amazing. Her name is Maria Stanfield. She's on Instagram too at my sister's CEO. Entrepreneurs, true entrepreneurs, we are critical thinkers and we problem solvers. Our brain is constantly working, right? And inside of the passion that we have for what we do, we're always looking for a solution to something. It's always the next thing. If we're not flying off trying to look for the next, how to get to the next level, we're looking for the next way to find a solution to this issue. And we're one of those people who are like, man, I love what I do. I can do this with my eyes closed. I literally have formulated some of my program that's getting ready to launch in May in my sleep because I'm constantly working and I love what I do. And sometimes when I go to sleep, my husband has to tell me, turn your brain off, girl. What's wrong with you? You got to turn your brain off. And I'm like, I can't, because the people need, like I'm always thinking about the people, right? And money don't mean nothing to me. And let me tell you something. I don't chase money. I never did. I had it. I didn't have it. I had it and I didn't have it. Money's not a thing to me to where I feel like, oh, it runs my life, because there's so many things that I've done so far in my life that was done through the favor of God. Like doors open for me and stuff fell in my lap because of my obedience, because I was determined to be obedient and do what God told me to do. And plus I was, giving back to God. That's a huge factor, giving back. And I'll get into that in a second. But money's not a huge thing to me. I'm not chasing money. My mind is always on, how can I help somebody? That's been my passion my whole life. Even when I was little, I was always like, how can I help somebody? So when I'm asleep, I'm like, oh, I wonder how I can help somebody tomorrow. But I built my program like that. And, working with the Holy Spirit, we work together awake, and we work together when I'm asleep. And my brain's always going. But that's how you are as a true entrepreneur. You can sleep and you can do what you do in your sleep. It's like, I don't need to be awake for this. I can literally do this with my eyes closed. Okay. That's our spirit. That's how we are. And so the biblical reference for that, number 7, critical thinking and problem solving, is Matthew 7:7. Matthew 7:7. Okay. Number 8. I like this. I like all of them, but listen, I got my favorites. Number 8. If you can identify with this to me is like the one. Okay. You have a hustler's heart. Number 8 is a hustler's heart. You see the target, right? And you go for it no matter what the cost. You see that target and you go for it no matter what. Okay. True entrepreneurs have that spirit. They got a hustler's heart. They are ready to go after this thing. Entrepreneurs are persistent, determined, and will outwork other people. I'm like that. I have to be pulled away from my computer, because I can come in my office at 5:30 in the morning and not leave my office till like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, the next morning. And my husband's like, are you going to come out the office? Are you coming out the office? My kids are like, Mom, you've been here all day. You know why? Because my brain is like, I can't put it on stop. There's no switch for me. Okay. I have a target. And I'm one of those people, I'm going to be at it till I get it. And so that's how I am, no matter what. Entrepreneurs are persistent, determined, and will outwork other people. That's what I'm talking about. I will be in this office working because I have things to do. And these are the people who see a room full of investors and big execs and are ready to ask for what they want. We are go-getters. Is nothing gonna stop us? No doesn't stop us. No isn't the final answer for us. We are going for it. We see it, we're going for it. There's nothing in that's going to stop us. You know, unless we die, put it in the ground, we're done. But other than that, we going at it, okay? So you see a room of investors and big execs and you're ready to ask what you want. While this type of scenario might make others uncomfortable and unwilling to go for the goal, entrepreneurs are not like that. We see the gold and the gold, and we're going for it, period. Bottom line, no more explanation about this. Biblical reference for this is 2 Chronicles 20:17. 2 Chronicles 20:17. Okay, now, this is important because part of entrepreneurship means you got to take some risks. Some risks you got to take, okay? You don't know if working with this person or working with that person or investing in this or doing this is going to pay off. But if you are an educated risk taker, okay, the number 9, educated risk taker. These entrepreneurs research the matter. They're going to look into, the research the matter they're looking into and make a move on it after they've weighed the cost. Like, so we're gonna weigh this thing out first. Is this worth it? In what ways? Is it more beneficial than not? Okay, successful entrepreneurship means there are risks involved, and before taking the risk, all aspects are with the target goal. All aspects are they're there. Every aspect of it, they're thought of, they're looked at, they're weighed with the target goal in mind. So that target goal, we have to know that reaching that target goal, these investments we're going to make, this business partnership I'm doing, it's going to make me reach my target goal without failure. Okay, in this case, the entrepreneur has already planned out for any risk failures and has a backup plan on deck. That's what we do. Because we're disciplined, we organize, we plan, and we execute. So inside of that organizing and planning, that's where educated risk is. We are researching the matter. We're looking to see, is this beneficial for us more so than less? That's that part. And then we make sure that, okay, I'm going to go with this, but I'm going to put a backup plan in place, a financial backup plan in place, just in case failure happens, because failure is inevitable. Like I said, to start, it's inevitable for an entrepreneur. Okay, so that was number 9. And the biblical reference for that is Philippians 4:6-7. Philippians 4:6-7. Okay, number 10, last but certainly not least, because there's so many other identifiers to say, oh, you're definitely called to be an entrepreneur. But I wanted to give you 10 of the main ones, the hard hitters. So number 10 is persistent. You do not accept no for an answer. And I just spoke about this a couple of numbers ago. You don't accept no for an answer. I don't. I'm not, and I won't. Okay. The no for us is the starting point to victory. For someone else, it's the end of the line. For someone else, the shop is closed. But no to us opens up a world of, let me find a way to make them say yes. And if not you, then the next person. So a no to us is actually the starting point to victory for us. It's like, we got this. Okay. Once you have taken in all research, your written plans and supporting facts, you go for the kill. Go for the kill. Because we're persistent. We're not to no. Okay, we'll let you say no today. I'll be back tomorrow. Okay? And so we go and we do this. We get all of our plans we wrote down. We get all of our strong supporting facts, and, we get our pitch together. And you are willing to revamp your project to get the desired income you want. But giving up isn't in your blood. It's not in your blood. It was never put in your DNA. No doesn't turn you away. No is yes, we got this. We can do this. Caleb, we can surely do this. We can take those giants down. And let me tell you, no's a giant. No's a giant. Why? Because if you come from a background of rejection and you deal with the spirit of rejection and the spirit of abandonment, they kind of they kind of work together a little bit. The no for you may be the thing that crushes your spirit. But if you've been a person who's never had to deal with that, and most people have dealt with rejection and abandonment to some degree, but you've been delivered from that, then you've come on the other side of no. And no is your. I'm gonna just do this because no. You'll change your mind tomorrow. That's where we stand. It's like, yeah, okay, all right. We got this. Okay. So 10. So in the biblical reference for persistent, number 10 is Romans 5:3. Romans 5:3. Romans 5:3. Okay. So let me review. I'm going to go through a quick review of what I went through with you today. 10 signs you're destined to be an entrepreneur. 1, you embrace change. Biblical reference, Isaiah 43:19. 2, isolation does not bother you. Biblical reference, 2 Timothy 4:16. 3, work smart and hard. Biblical reference, Psalm 128:2. 4, you can dream outside the box. Biblical reference, Numbers 13:30. 5, failure pushes you. Biblical reference, James 1:2-4. 6, so is unacceptable. Okay. Biblical reference, Philippians 4:13. 7, you're a critical thinker and problem solver. Biblical reference, Matthew 7:7. 8, you have a hustler's heart. Biblical reference, 2 Chronicles 20:17. 9, you're an educated risk taker. Biblical reference, Philippians 4:6-7. And 10, you're persistent. Biblical reference, Romans 5:3. These are the 10 definitive ways to find out if you are an entrepreneur, if you're built to be an entrepreneur. Okay. So I want to share something with you really quick. That's not the one. Is this the one? Okay. I'm going to share something with you. Now that we're done and I ran down everything, 3 major keys. Sorry, something's in my way. 3 major keys to see wealth increase in your business. If you do not see an increase in finances in your business, because for kingdom entrepreneurs, it changes. It goes from being income, that finances, income, till we reach a point where we're like, I have much wealth coming to my business. And wealth is not just money. So I want to explain something really, really quick before I get off. Wealth is partly finances, okay, and majority blessings. Partly finances, majority blessings. Excuse me. And that means you are being obedient and hearing God and doing what he's telling you to do to the degree where you are overly abundant with finances. But because of your obedience and giving back to God, all these other material blessings come. See, God's he doesn't care for materials, but doesn't mean he won't bless you with it. He wants to make sure that you're doing your spiritual responsibility, because entrepreneurship has a heavy call. It's a specific anointing for that. And not everyone is anointed to do it, but there are key things to identify whether there's an anointing over you for entrepreneurship. And what I just gave you, these steps are the beginning identifiers for that, okay? But it's up to you to seek God further. Okay, so 3 keys to see wealth increase in your business. And wealth is partly finances and majority blessings coming in. So number 1, acknowledge God as the owner of your business. You have to. It's important. I just taught this on week 1 of the series I'm teaching right now in Kingdom Entrepreneurship at Mornings at His Feet. You have to acknowledge God, because we get to a point of this arrogance where we feel like we're doing pretty good, and then we stop realizing that I didn't come up with this. Although you may think that you came up with it, trust me, if you're anointed and you've been destined before you even came to this earth to be an entrepreneur, God already whispered that thing in your spirit. He whispered it again to wake you up and get you to do it. So get off of you. It's not about you. Okay, this song is not about you. It's about God. God has to be acknowledged as the owner. He owns your business. You're not the owner. Get over yourself. Number 2, serve God's people graciously. God loves people that have a happily giving heart. That's one of the major factors. Okay, now I'm telling you 3 major keys to see wealth increase in your business. You have to, number 1, acknowledge God is the owner. You did not come up with this thing by yourself. It's not you. God put it in your spirit before he sent you to this earth, and all he did was whisper it to you to get you to wake up and do it. Okay, so that's one way to see wealth increase in your business is acknowledging God at all times, that he's the owner of your business, and always go to the owner to find out what he wants done in the business. Number 2, serve God's people graciously. God loves a giving heart. And it's not always about money. Giving doesn't always mean financial. Giving your time, giving your labor. People may need you in the community. What are you doing for your community? Your community may be the group of people God gave to you. They may be the people that he built your entrepreneurship to serve, so that you can build the kingdom in your community. Okay, so be gracious about the way you do things for other people, because God loves that. He loves that. And if he does put it in your heart, if he does whisper to you to give financially, then do it with a happy heart. Because a happy heart that gives to God's people, it gives back to God. Oh my God, I'm telling you, I've seen it. Oh, Jesus. Ha! You don't even want to get me started. He will give back abundantly, okay? I ain't even going to go there because I got a story to tell you. Trust me. Serve God's people graciously. And number 3, huge. That's why I'm ending with it. Give back to God with your first fruits. Give back to God with your first fruits, okay? Give back to God with your first fruits. So now, what does giving my first fruits do? Okay. First of all, let me tell you what first fruits are. Anytime you get an increase, something changes that increases your income, the very first part of that comes in, that extra, all of that extra that comes to you, that's God's money. Give back to him. Okay, because he allowed you to get it. So that first, like your income changes. Let me tell you, because said January comes and you put up for a promotion last year. January comes and you find out you get that promotion, right? So that means now you're getting ready to get an extra $400 on your income. Okay, that extra, that's that first, so that very first check, not your whole check, but that all that extra that came, that's called first fruits. Give that to God. Oh, Jesus. And oh, Lord, he will multiply that thing. Oh, and oh, he'll multiply. Let me stop. I'm getting excited because I will preach. Now, y'all know I'm a minister. I will preach. Okay. I'm a minister, and I get excited about God, and I get excited because of the stuff that I've gone through in my life and I've seen him working in and show up in, and it's all the truth. Okay, so what does giving my first fruits do? So, okay, she's telling me give my first fruits, but what am I get out of it? First of all, let's change that attitude. First of all, don't approach it that way. What am I get? Now, we're gonna have a gracious heart. So we're gonna say, I'm gonna give my first fruits to God. But since I'm giving it, I would like to know what first fruits does. Like, what does it do? Better way to approach this, right? Number 1, it preserves your remaining income. Okay? So the enemy can't attack your money, right? So you give your first fruits, God seals the rest of your money the rest of the year. Can't nothing bad happen to your money. He got you. Because you decided to give him the first part of that increase, he's going to cover it. So setting your income aside to give God first fruit commits him to protect the rest of your finances. Don't believe me? Go to Romans 11:16. Okay? It'll tell you about it. Romans 11:16. So that's the first thing that it does. It preserves the remaining of your income. It commits God to the rest to protect your finances. Number 2, it disassembles the act of you being disgraced and humiliated. What does that have to do with anything? So you know, I'm gonna just say this because this happened. I have family. I ain't gonna say family because you know why? Those are 2 different things to me. Family and relatives are 2 different things. I have relatives who have humiliated the mess out of me, I just felt so disgraced and embarrassed and low, just dirt. And relatives have done this to me, and people in general have done this to me. But when you give first fruits it disassembles the act of you being disgraced and humiliated, which means it kind of closes people's mouths in actions towards you to do harm to you. It's God's way of honoring you for honoring him. So then you'll begin to see that people won't be doing this stuff to you. People won't be doing nasty things to you. And for reference, go to 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 30. 1 Samuel 2:30. And last, it opens you up to the overflow of blessings. Okay, when you honor God in your first fruit, it brings you financial surplus, therefore consistently receiving blessings. So when God sees that your heart is willing to give him all of your extra before you even get to touch it and do anything with it, you're honoring him. That's a high honor. That's a really high honor to take something that we need in this earth. You need money. You need money. Okay, you got to have it. But for God to see that you're willing to take that first increase and give it all to him, he honors that. And then that opens the gate, whatever gate is assigned to you for your blessings to come out of. It opens it, and then they just pour. They just pour. And it's like, whew, they just pouring. They pouring. Yeah, they're pouring. The blessings are pouring out. It creates financial surplus. You got so much, you looking for people to give it away to, okay? And then it just consistently keeps going. So for reference for that is Proverbs 3, 9 through 10. Proverbs 3, 9 through 10. Okay? And I'm ending with this. Important factors to take note of, okay? Keep this in mind. Everything I just discussed with you, these are important factors to take note of. And I'm actually going to post these things in my story. Everything I just went over, I'm going to post in my story. One, God put the business in your heart, in your spirit, and it is sounded off in your head. Okay? That's an important factor to remember. There's a specific anointing placed over you to carry out the assignment. An important factor. Take note of that. Entrepreneurship often requires you to walk alone. Know that so that you don't think, oh my God, I can't do this, I'm by myself. No, that's part of it. Next, it is primarily to serve God's people. Your business is primarily to serve God's people for the expansion of the kingdom of heaven. That's what it's primarily for. This is not about you. Don't make this thing about you. Oh, I'm trying to do this so I can buy this, so I can get this, so I can. No, it's not even about you. It's about expanding the kingdom of heaven. Okay? You are expected to steward the business with fervent honor to God. Fervent honor to God is acknowledging that it's him and it's his business and giving back to him while serving graciously to his people. Okay? Giving back to God is the means of generating within that business. Okay? It is the means of generating wealth within that business. So you have to understand that. All right? These are important factors. So hopefully going over the 10 signs that you're destined to become an entrepreneur. The 3 keys to seeing wealth increase in your business. What does giving my first fruits do? And the important factors of kingdom entrepreneurship is enough for you right now to determine your next move, your next step. I'm Chisa Barrett, spiritual entrepreneur engineer, helping God build and structure other entrepreneurs in the earth. Join me next time I go live. I'll probably do it randomly because I don't schedule things unless God tells me to. Everybody else has this thing they do. I do what Yahweh says. So if you catch me, you catch me, and hopefully you do. Follow me at Mornings at His Feet every Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. here at Dope Boss Mom Empire's page. Check me out on YouTube, Dope Boss Mom Empire YouTube channel. And I do this every time, no matter what I do live. I declare. That's my foundation of what I do in the ministry. It's important to declare things. So declare your day, declare what you want, declare what you hear God saying, declare it. Seal it in the blood of Jesus so that it's solidified and that it has no choice but to manifest. Until next time, be kind, be loving, be nice, be gentle, and love everyone around you, okay? Bye.